Alright, y'all. Y'all wanted to talk, so let's talk about it. I'm gonna wait for people to come into the room. Doing this on my lunch break. This is the time that I have right now since I didn't jump the gun and decided to make this post. We're gonna talk about it. I haven't gone live in a really long time. Let me put some chapstick on, make sure my lips ain't chapped. But I'm just waiting for more people to come in before I start talking, because I don't want to answer the same questions over and over again. But we're gonna be talking about why I decided to end my vegan journey, my plant-based journey. It's been so long since I went live, y'all. I don't even know how to even make a title no more or nothing. This is just super impromptu. I don't know what I'm doing no more. But I'm just waiting for more people to come in, like I said, because I don't want to just keep answering the same questions over and over. And I know I just dropped the damn bomb on people, and I know that a lot of people are gonna have questions. I'm gonna give it like 2 more minutes, and then I'm gonna save it, Lily, because I know some people are at work and can't tune in. Shit, I'm doing this on my lunch break, so I just wanted to do a video. And if I don't get enough people who tune in, then I will probably just make a video on my own and just post it on like my YouTube channel or something, and just do it that way. Yeah, I might just end up doing that. I might just end up okay. I got people joining in, because I'm like, if I don't get enough people in here, I'll just wait and do the video later. But let's just jump right into it. I'm gonna say the video so that those of you who could not tune in, y'all can come back and watch it later. But the question, or the bomb that I just dropped like 10 minutes ago, I told everybody that I decided to end my plant-based / vegan journey. This is a new news for a lot of you guys, but the truth is I made this decision 6 months ago and decided to wait and postpone announcing it to everybody, because first and foremost, I wanted to be sure that it was something that I really wanted to do and stick with. And then I also wanted to make sure that I saw improvements in my body before I took it to social media and started to share it with everybody, because I know that a lot of people like look up to me or just like take advice from me, and I did not want to be irresponsible and start talking about things too prematurely, and then change my mind and go back to being vegan. So I wanted to take my time and really just assess my situation before I talked about it. So it's been 6 months. Yesterday, or was it the 3rd? The 3rd would have marked 6 months for me. So I made the decision like at the very beginning of November of 2024. So a lot of people are like, what made me make this decision? What type of things did I experience? So just to state the obvious, I was vegan for 9 long ass years. And when I made the decision to start that journey, I gave it up, not because I hated animal foods or I was like this big vegan activist. Like, it had nothing to do with trying to save the animals. It was just, for me, I felt like that was the best thing for me at the time. I was, I guess you could say, like heavily influenced by a lot of content that was out there at that time. And a lot of people, like, going vegan and being plant-based was just like on the rise. I was already into health, so I just felt like that was just my next action to take. So I made the decision. I was happy with it and stuck with it for 9 long years, and I never really had any issues. Let's just say up until maybe year 5, 5.5 is when I started noticing some things with my body that I was just like, okay, something's off. So it started with, so a lot of you guys might not know this, but I sing as well. So I'm a vocalist. But one of the very, very first things that I started noticing is that my voice started changing. Like, I was constantly hoarse. My voice would just constantly crack, even when I was just talking. my voice was just like very unstable. So I started noticing that my voice started, like I was just real pitchy and I just couldn't understand what was going on. So that was like the very first thing that I started noticing. The second thing was acne. Like I started developing, and I'm gonna post pictures of all of this stuff so that y'all can see it, because I kept and held on to a lot of it because I just wasn't ready to share it with y'all. But I started to develop like really bad cystic acne. Like I was having breakouts like all on my cheeks, on my chin, on my neck, on my back. It was just like no matter what I did, no matter what I tried, none of my little normal things that I would use when I would get a little pimple here and there, none of that stuff worked. So, sorry, I'm getting notifications, but none of that stuff worked. So I had this acne, and when it would go away, it would leave scars. So I'm like, I've never had acne in my life. What the hell is going on? So then it was the acne. Then came the weight gain. So I had not changed anything that I was eating from when I kind of started being plant-based up until when I started noticing these changes. But I had just like gained like 20 plus pounds, and I'm still losing that excess weight. No, I didn't really eat soy. I didn't really fuck with soy. I'll talk about more of what I was eating in a moment, but the weight gain. So I went from like 132 to damn near 160 pounds, y'all. And to y'all, that may not sound like a lot, but for someone who's always been relatively small my whole life, me picking up that extra weight, I was just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I'm like out here on some Rasputia shit. In my mind, that's how I felt. Like, okay, I done gained some weight. I'm thick now. Then came, I could not sleep. So I should have had my list, because I had everything wrote down that I wanted to say, but I don't have it. This was very impromptu, but I could not sleep, you guys. I developed terrible insomnia to the point where I would be up all night, and then when I finally would go to sleep, I could only sleep for like 4 to 5 hour stretches, and then I would just be up staring at the fucking wall. And this was like, the sleep issue was really like one of the last like that was like one of the last straws for me. Like for maybe 2 years I struggled with it, and I just couldn't figure out why I could not sleep well. I also started having a lot of like acid reflux issues, or what I would say low stomach acid. Like my stomach acid was not strong. I would wake up in the middle of the night after I would eat. I don't know if it was certain foods that was triggering me or not, but it was like frequently I would wake up in the middle of the night choking and coughing to the point where I start dry heaving. And I just couldn't understand what that was like, what was causing this. It was something I never experienced before, but I started having that issue where I would just randomly wake up, and then I would just be dry heaving and nauseous all night. And I'm just like, what is wrong with me? Like, why is my body acting like this? So I was nauseous, couldn't sleep, constantly having this choking sensation or this dry heaving, the insomnia. I had a fucking panic attack for the first time. When was this? It was like several months ago. I had never really had extremely bad anxiety, but my anxiety started to become really, really bad to the point where I had a fucking panic attack. And I was just like, this is like, the panic attack was it for me. It was like, all right, this is it. Something is terribly off. Your hormones has to be off. Every time I would eat something that had a carb in it, like bread, rice, pasta, even like lentils or something like that, I would crash. Like I literally was like super sensitive to them to the point where I literally would have to go lay down. My body just was very sensitive to them. I was not tolerating them well. I was always fucking cold. My hair was falling out. I have video footage and pictures of that, of just like washing my hair and just globs just coming out. My hair prematurely graying because I'm missing minerals and iron and nutrients. Like I'm trying not to miss anything, so I'm just like, what else? Because it was just like so many fucking different things that was just going on. But I noticed that I was very irritable. My libido was gone, because I don't know. It's just like a lot of shit just wasn't adding up for me. So I toyed with the idea for months before I actually bit the bullet and did it. But I was so scared. I was like, I don't know. I was just like, this has been my life for so long. and I consciously made this decision and I was happy with it. But you know, some shit works until it doesn't work anymore. And so instead of giving up immediately, I pushed through for 4 more years, 3 to 4 more years. I didn't give up. So like I said, I started noticing these things in like 2000, well, shit, I don't know the exact year, but let's just say year 5, 5.5. And I just kept going until eventually I just was like, all right, I have to stop. Like, something is not working. I hated how it made me feel obsessed with cleansing and detoxing and wanting to do a juice cleanse every other goddamn month. Like, it just wasn't healthy. I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to do a cleanse and heal your body and work on stuff like that. But when you're constantly obsessed with cleansing because you feel like this is the only way that you can get back to a state of being that you had before, something is off about that. Like, and I don't think enough people talk about how going vegan or going plant-based kind of creates this unhealthy obsession with stuff like that. But I know when I started gaining weight, that was one thing that I kept pushing. Like, I kept trying to do these extended juice fasts and these extended cleanses and all these different detoxes because I was trying to figure out, why did I gain this weight and why won't it go away? And I would lose the weight doing the cleanse, but it was like as soon as I went back to eating, I would gain the shit right back. And this was just the journey for the past several years. So I finally bit the bullet. Yes, it's a lot of fear mongering in the trend. And I also just feel like it was a lot of shit that I overlooked, not because it was intentional, but I think it was because I was just so driven to stay on path with the lifestyle that I chose. And I was also passionate about it that I kind of just overlooked shit. But the more I just started researching, I was just like, you really can't get everything you need from plant sources. Like, it's a reason why we eat meat. And a lot of, like, there was a lot of logic behind, like, well, we don't have claws and sharp teeth like an animal to eat meat, etc., etc. But we have a big brain. Like, our brain is bigger than any mammal or any other animal on the face of the planet. And that's because we developed the capacity to use tools and different things to help us get the things that we need and to prepare food in a way that's nourishing to our bodies. So we do things differently, and that's why we're at the top of the food chain. It's not necessarily because we were designed to be like another wild animal. That's just like how I've had to start looking at shit, because I had that argument too, like, well, we don't have, you know, all of the different anatomical differences, similarities, like a lion to eat flesh raw, but we have a brain. Our brain works differently, and we can use it to make tools to do different things. So essentially, like I said, I started researching. The first thing that I started diving really, really deep into is vitamins, like vitamin A, vitamin K2, which a lot of people don't know about, vitamin D. A lot of people don't know, but beta carotene, which is the form of, it's a building block of vitamin A, but this is what you're going to get from plants. Plants don't have the active form of vitamin A, and vitamin A is one of the main vitamins that sets the stage for how a lot of the hormones and stuff in your body function. And when your vitamin A reserves are very low, it can cause a cascade of so many different things. I also did not know that eating certain types of foods deplete certain minerals in your body. Like, if you eat a lot of carb foods, and carbs don't necessarily have to be just bread, but I was eating a lot of fruit. I was also eating a lot of lentils and things like that. And those are all complex carbohydrate foods. So they have a lot of carbs in them. They break down into a lot of sugar. But when you eat a lot of stuff like that, it depletes your magnesium. It depletes your B vitamins, because all of those types of vitamins are necessary parts of different molecular processes in your body that help you actually process those foods to turn them into energy for your cells. So I'm like, damn, I didn't know that I was depleting my magnesium and my B vitamins and certain things like that just because I'm sitting here eating soup with a bunch of lentils every single day, or eating rice all the time, or making potatoes and things like that. Like, it's just so many nuances to the nutrition shit that I was just not paying attention to. And as much as I wanted these things to not be true so that I could stick to being vegan, I just couldn't ignore it. Like I said, vitamin A, our body needs the active form of vitamin A, and that is called retinol. Plants do not have that. There is no plant that has the active form of vitamin A. They only have beta carotene, which is a building block of vitamin A that your liver has to convert. It has to work to try to convert that into the usable form that it wants. And you have to eat very, very large amounts of that in order to do it. But we're not sitting around eating pounds and pounds of carrots or other, you know, beta carotene rich foods, not to mention the copper, the zinc, a lot of people don't talk about the fact that the iron from plants is different from the iron in meat. That's something that I had to learn. Plant iron is called non-heme iron, and then you have heme iron, which is what you would get from animal-based foods. So I'm just like, the body does not absorb heme iron the same way as it absorbs non-heme. I'm sorry, I got to switch it up. The body does not absorb non-heme iron the way that it absorbs heme iron. So you can eat a ton of plants and you may not necessarily be developing or getting all of the iron and minerals from it. So what meat have vitamin A? So you would need to be eating meat from ruminant animals. Ruminant animals are going to be animals that actually have multiple stomachs and they eat grass. So that's going to be cows, that can be goats, it can be sheep, it can be buffalo. Those are ruminant animals. So the difference between eating them and non-ruminant animals is that when they eat the grass, they have multiple stomachs that allow them to extract certain nutrients and really break down that grass to extract certain things from it, and their body converts it into fatty acids that we need for our brain health. Just so many different things. It's very in depth. But we don't have a 4-part stomach. So when we're eating a lot of vegetation, we're not going to be able to absorb and extract the nutrients from the plants in the same way that a ruminant animal can. So what kind of meats am I planning on going back to eating? Well, I have been eating a lot of beef, like a lot of steak, just to get my copper up, my iron up. I've been trying to get into seafood. I never ate seafood before. So I've been trying to get into eating things like oysters and anchovies, because they are really, I'm sorry, not anchovies. What's the other one? The other little fish. I can't think of it. It's not anchovies, y'all. What is it, y'all? I'm sure y'all know. But it's like a little fish. But they're really rich in fatty acids like DEA and EPA for your brain development. But I'm just like, no wonder I was probably fucking having all of this anxiety. Sardines. Yes, sardines. That's what it was. Sardines. I'm trying to explore seafood. Like I said, I wasn't a seafood eater at all. But the fact that I'm recognizing that my nutrient reserves were so low and that I needed certain things, I've been trying to test the waters with them. I have tried salmon, but I'm still just trying to get into it. I'm not all the way there yet, but I've definitely been eating a lot of eggs to get my choline up. Something that I've been doing as well to get more collagen. Like, that's another thing that is not talked about a lot in the plant-based community. You don't get collagen, and your whole skeletal frame is built from collagen. Like, we need collagen to build our tendons, our ligaments, and different things like that. And this is why hip replacements and people are tearing up their knees. They need knee replacements, because we're not getting a lot of nutrients from a lot of the foods that we're eating, and we're not getting the collagen that we need to help build our muscular and our skeletal frame. Like, it's just so much. Add sea moss to your diet. I mean, I already eat seaweed and things like that, so I'm getting as much nutrients as I could. I was doing my best trying to supplement, but at some point, if you have to supplement just damn near so much into your diet in order to make it healthy and sustainable, then that in itself says a lot. If I have to find a supplement to get B12, if I got to find a supplement to get the EPA and the DEA for my brain health, if I have to find a supplement to give me more iron, to give me more copper, like, you have to, like, we got to get out of the delusion. I think I was stuck in a delusion. Like, I just did not want to accept that maybe my diet did not provide me everything that I needed until I was forced to stop. So, I mean, it's just so much. I feel like this video is just very random and it wasn't well thought out. Normally I like to plan things and I want to have notes and I want to make sure I hit certain points, but I was just like, you know what, fuck it, I have to get this out. I need to say it so that I can get this shit off my chest and just move on with my life. But yes, I stopped. So yes, every day I typically eat steak and eggs for breakfast, making sure that I get my protein. And I've been like having gelatin in my tea every morning so that I can get the collagen for my bones and for my skeletal frame. I may have like some cheese here and there just on my eggs, but outside of that, what am I eating now? Eggs for sure. What else? Because eggs are rich in something called vitamin K2. They have a lot of vitamin K2. I've been taking liver supplements because I have not been able to jump off the deep end and actually eat liver. But liver is such a nutrient-dense food. It's rich in iron. It's rich in vitamin A. It has the zinc, copper. It has vitamin B12. Like, it just has so many nutrients in it. And I'm just not there yet. Like, I'm still getting myself there. But I could just tell that my body was inflamed and that my body was weak. And that I needed to make some changes just to get my nutrition together. So, yes. I don't know what questions you guys have, because I feel like I'm just blabbering off at the moment. So I'm just going to scroll through. But yes, if you guys are like wanting resources on what you can look into to help you if you're on a journey where you've been thinking about it. And I know I also pushed this lifestyle and guided a lot of people to it, and a part of me felt guilty, like, damn, I'm trying not to cry about it, but this was not an easy decision for me to make. And I carry weight, so much guilt, because I felt like I made a terrible decision. And I just was like, damn, there goes my credibility because I changed my mind about it. But I wouldn't be who I am if I didn't get on here and share it and be honest about my decision. Like, I know I needed to make the decision. I knew I needed to share it. And at the end of the day, I'm just trying to make sure I do what's best for me. As someone who doesn't have children yet, that was constantly always in the back of my mind. Like, how are you going to thrive and have a healthy pregnancy when your body is in shambles right now? Like, it was just so many different things that was just running through my mind. But I'm learning. I'm also just getting to a space where I'm accepting that it's okay to change your mind. Sorry, it's raining and I'm getting wet. But it's okay to change your mind. But I don't know. I get really deep into the shit that I do. And I don't take sharing information very lightly. Like, this is something that I'm passionate about. But when shit ain't working for me, I have to get up here and share that just as loud as I shared it when it was working for me. And I reached a point where it just wasn't working. But it's been 6 months, because I told y'all, I made the decision back in November and chose to do it privately because I wanted to be responsible with it. I did not want to get on here and make the decision to tell you guys too prematurely before I even really sat with it and processed it myself. It was not easy, but my family and my friends, they were very supportive. Like, my very close friends and my family were the first to know when I was even playing around with the idea. I told them, like, hey, you know, I'm thinking about making this decision, and they all supported it. I think I was just very worried about, like, what are people going to say? What are people going to think? Because, like I said, I lived this life for 9 years and was so hardcore about it. But shit, it didn't work. And now I'm on the journey of recovering and I'm feeling better. I've dropped 10 pounds already, just naturally, without doing anything extra, just by changing what I'm eating. My sleep is getting better. The anxiety, I have not had any more anxiety attacks. My acne has gone. Like, my skin is back clear. except for this one. This is like a little hormonal zit because I just got off my cycle. But even my cycle is different. Like, I used to have cramps here and there, but it's just like, when I know my cycle's coming, I'll eat a fucking steak just to replenish iron because I know I'm about to lose some and I feel better. But it's gonna take months. I'm sorry, not months, but it's gonna probably take my body a few years to build itself back up. Something else that I didn't talk about, y'all, my motherfucking teeth were raggedy. I got like 10 cavities in my mouth right now. I'm finna have to spend a bag or two just to get my teeth together. And this is all just from lack of minerals and things of that nature, not getting enough of the vitamin K2. Like, this is something that I started diving in really deep. Like, I'll say what really opened my eyes is I started thinking about my teeth at first, and I started doing a lot of research trying to figure out how to regenerate my dental health, because your teeth are alive and they can repair themselves. We just don't be giving them the right nutrients to do it. And we've been lied to about how to take care of our oral health. So I started diving off into the deep end, and I started learning about this vitamin called vitamin K2. And vitamin K2, the body prefers it from the animal source, even though you can get it in a plant-based form, but you have to eat fermented foods, specifically a fermented bean called natto. You can get it from like fermented cheese like Gouda. And so I was trying to experiment with eating it in a plant-based way before I jumped off the deep end and just gave it all up and went back to meat. But vitamin K2 does something very important. Not only does it pull calcium from places where it's not supposed to be. Like, when you eat calcium needs something to direct it and tell it where to go. Otherwise, if it doesn't have something to direct it and tell it where to go, it builds up in your arteries and it calcifies your arteries, and it leads to the development of hardened arteries and heart disease. And this is not talked about enough. Yeah, some of you guys may have seen me talking about them stinky ass fermented beans called natto. So I was doing my research then, trying to find a plant-based way to resolve my issues, but I just couldn't. But vitamin K2 works in conjunction with vitamin A, and they are like the master orchestrators of how the body uses calcium and other minerals to keep your bones strong and to keep calcium out of your arteries, so it is not clogging up the arteries and creating calcification. But we're not taught about that. Like, how many of you have even fucking heard of vitamin K2? I'm sure you may have heard of vitamin K1, which is good for making sure that your blood clots properly, but vitamin K2 is totally different. It directs calcium back into your bones and back into your teeth. And when you're not eating vitamin K rich foods, you might be eating foods that are rich in calcium, but the calcium is not going to where it needs to go. And this is why we end up, as we get older and age, our bones become brittle, our teeth are less strong, and we end up with so many cavities, we lose teeth, just all type of shit just starts to happen. And I don't want my motherfucking teeth falling out. I had sprained my ankle a couple years ago, and I had never had issues with my bones or fracturing anything. And that was also just another sign for me, like, damn, I'm thinking I'm supposed to be super strong and invincible because I'm vegan and plant-based, but I just fucked my ankle up, and it took my ankle forever to heal, like forever. So I was just like, yeah, I don't know. That's when I just was like, yeah, something off. So let me go through. Now that I done cried and got that shit out the way, let me read the comments. You are so welcome. I'm happy that I can make the video and answer questions, but I know that one of you guys was talking about jumping back into it, as specific. Being vegan or being plant-based might be okay for men, but women specifically, our hormones are so delicate, and we need certain things to stay balanced. And we also nourish children, like we breastfeed. So we have to make sure that not only do we get enough calories to maintain our own body, but we need a lot more minerals because we lose blood. We need a lot more iron. We need healthy fats, and I'm not talking about vegetable oils. That was another thing that was fucking me up and was causing a lot of inflammation in my body. I was cooking with vegetable oils and using that fucking terrible ass vegan butter, which ain't nothing but margarine, just some processed ass vegetable oils, and those things create so much inflammation in your body because they are rancid and they are very unstable in the presence of oxygen. And then when you heat them up, you make it 10 times worse. Like, if you want to ruin your day, go and research how canola oil is made. Go and research how grapeseed oil is made. Go research how they make soybean oil. This shit is so fucking processed. It's not meant for us to eat that kind of stuff. We're supposed to eat healthy fats that come from the animal, like beef tallow, butter, duck fat. I'm trying to think what else. Lard. If you eat pig, like, those are solid, stable fats. This is why when you go back and think about how our grandparents and stuff used to eat, they could cook with bacon grease over and over and over and over again, and it never lost its ability to fry properly. It didn't go rancid. It stayed in the same quality and texture because those fats are very stable. You want stable fats. Coconut oil is okay. If you must use a liquid oil, avocado oil would be where I draw the line. If you want to make a salad, you need true, authentic, cold pressed olive oil. Do not heat up olive oil. It's not meant to be heated because it becomes unstable with high temperature. But I was cooking with olive oil. I was cooking with grapeseed oil. I was just doing all the wrong things and slathering vegan butter on every fucking thing. Just destroying my body with those toxic ass foods. But yeah, I see you, Desiree. You said you've been trying forever to get your iron up. That's because non-heme iron from plants, the body's not going to absorb it. I mean, you can try to help it by taking vitamin C with it to, you know, increase the bioavailability of it. But at the end of the day, the body's going to absorb heme iron way better. And it's going to build your levels back up way quicker and way easier. So it's just, like I said, I feel like there's just been a lot of propaganda and a lot of fear mongering. And then I was already on the bandwagon. And when you just in a certain world, you be blind to every fucking thing else. And I was blind. I didn't want to see another way. Girl, they are down here telling me I got arthritis. So look, I'm telling you, if you eat a lot of fast food where they're cooking French fries and shit in all of these rancid ass vegetable oils, stop. This is causing inflammation. This is causing gout. This is causing our hormones to become disrupted. They do so many things. Just go down the rabbit hole. Y'all ain't got to take my word for nothing. I know y'all probably like, last year and the year before that, she was telling us to do this, and now she's telling us to do something else. If that's how y'all feel, that's how y'all feel. Go do your own research. I've always stated that anyways. But just go down the rabbit hole and research what are the dangers of seed oils. These are manufactured oils that used to be used industrially to lubricate heavy machinery. Then they decided that they wanted to put them into the food industry because they were making so much of it and they needed something to do with the shit. So they were like, well, why not feed it to us? And we just been eating this shit up. It's just been a whole campaign telling us that butter is bad for you, that it's going to cause heart disease and high cholesterol. And people don't even know high cholesterol is actually healthy because cholesterol is what your body uses to make fucking hormones. So how are we going to make hormones if we never fucking eat cholesterol? And mind you, you can't get cholesterol from a plant-based diet. So being able to properly develop hormones is essential, especially if you're a woman. You're not going to be able to do that if you're on a vegan plant-based diet and you're not eating healthy sources of cholesterol. So that's another reason why it's so easy for people who are on a vegan or plant-based lifestyle to develop imbalances with their hormones. Okay. Let me go through because I keep saying I'm going to read the comments. Yes, vegan butter, terrible. Use avocado or olive oil or coconut oil. Exactly. Stay away from vegan butter. Like, I hate that I promoted that shit. I just also hate how being vegan, they created so many alternatives to animal-based foods in a vegan form, and nobody really questioned those processed ass alternatives. Like, I was really up here thinking because this is vegan butter, it's better. That shit is toxic. All of them fake vegan ass cheeses, toxic. It's not better. It's nothing but just a bunch of chemicalized bullshit, but we made it feel like it was better because it was vegan. It was plant-based. Like, we got caught up in the marketing. We got caught up in the hype. We got caught up in the fucking propaganda. And it's very easy to get caught up in it. It's so easy. I got bamboozled too. And then one day I was just like, I'm not using this shit no more. So then I started using real butter. I'm just like, I'm over it. But okay, let me scroll. So K2 goes with D3, right? Yes, we need the vitamin D. Like, they all work together. You need vitamin A, the active form, retinol. You need vitamin K2. You need vitamin D3. You need lots of B vitamins. You need magnesium, because all of those things are crucial minerals and vitamins that have a lot to do with how your body metabolizes nutrients to produce energy. And when you're not getting the right amounts, it is going to interfere with how your body breaks down food to make energy. And this is why so many people get a lot of like fatigue issues, because we're missing the cofactors to help those processes actually function. Let me see. I went back to meat. Somebody said they missed what I changed. My dad was plant-based to prevent heart attack. He still had one and passed away, sadly. I wish he had known. Damn, that is fucked up. I'm so sorry to hear that. So sorry to hear that. Brandy said, I've been eating for my blood type. I dibbled and dabbled into that as well. I guess you could say I'm more in a space now where I'm just intuitively eating and just trying to make sure that I'm eating very nutrient-dense foods. And sadly, plants are not those things. Plants... And you know what, something else that I just wanted to say, the argument that killing animals is bad, but then we sit around and we kill plants all day just to be vegan and then talk about save the animals. Like, a plant is just as much alive as an animal is. It does not want to die either. So it's not, there's not one that's better than the other. Something has to die for something to live. That is the cycle of life in all things. We are not excluded from that shit either. Morally, yes, it made us feel better because we thought we were saving the animals and we weren't killing anything, but plants are alive. And when you dig the motherfuckers up out the grass, you killed it. And then you steamed it and you ate it. So you are still participating in death. And I think we just need to get over trying to romanticize this shit and just realize that is the cycle of life. Everywhere you look, everywhere you go, something has to die for something else to live. It's just the cycle of life. And once I just started to just get over this whole vegan thing, I just was like, yeah, that's right. Nobody wants to die. Nobody wants to be motherfucking eaten, but that's just the way life is. I'm gonna have to go back and read the comments because I keep going off on tangents, but how you know if they telling you the right blood type? You don't really know, honestly, unless you go and get your blood tested. But also, this is why it's important to just be in tune with your body. What feels good to you? Like, I can tell when I eat something how my body responds. I can even just pick something up and my body has a visceral response to it. Like, I might feel slight nausea or something like that, and then I'll know, like, oh, my body doesn't want this, and I won't eat it. But this is where we have to, I think the revolution now is getting back into regenerative farming, like really getting back to nature, learning how to farm our own animals so that we can have our own pure, clean meat, because the shit that's out there is trash. They're feeding the cows and the chickens and things like that food that they're not designed to eat, which is then making the animals unhealthy for us to eat. They're supposed to eat fucking grass. And when you don't eat your species-specific diet, you get sick. And so if we're eating meat from animals that are not being fed their natural diet, it's going to impact us. So I've been very intentional about the journey. You know, I don't buy my meat at the grocery store. I am blessed that I have access to a huge farmer's market where there are a variety of local farmers who raise their own cattle and sell, you know, meat and things like that. I get my eggs from the farmer's market. So I've been very intentional about that. But at some point, the journey is still the same. I still want my own motherfucking land. I still want my own farm. And I guess at this point, we just gonna be motherfucking farming with sheep and goats, and I'm gonna have bison or cows or something, some chickens. But this is how you take back the power. Because if we keep depending on the system, they're going to keep giving us shit that makes us sick. And if you gotta wonder, they're trying to push this big plant-based agenda, and they want everybody to be plant-based now. Because they want everybody to be weak. They want your body to be weak. They don't want you to get the nutrients and the minerals that you need. Like, my mind just started going there. Like, now everybody want to be vegan. Now it's such a big deal. Now they want everything to be plant-based. Like, bro, we all gonna be sick if we do that. What's up, Aaron? But yeah, it is the cycle of life. I woke up out my sleep 2 months ago craving beef. Mind you, I haven't had beef in 7 years. I told my brother, and he said he isn't against beef. He just wants me to eat clean beef. Told me to buy a cow and freeze that meat. I'm craving beef. Yes. I mean, that's what a lot of these families do. They'll buy a whole cow, and that is enough to last them for an entire year with their whole family. A whole year, just one cow. But we don't shop that way because, yeah, it's going to cost a lot up front. You might have to spend $1,500 up front for an entire cow. But at least you can say that this piece of meat came from one cow. Did y'all know that when you buy ground beef at the grocery store, that ground beef has come from multiple fucking animals? So you don't even know how many cows' meat was used to package that one package of ground beef. Like, that type of shit is important. Like, you just grabbing pieces from Paul, Peter, Jack, and just grinding the shit up and just smashing it all into a package. So you don't need, there really is not a lot of quality control when it comes to the meat in that capacity. Like, I feel, at least a part of me feels better knowing that when I buy meat from these people that I've met at these farmer markets, they are confident. Like, I can look on there and see this animal was slaughtered maybe 2 weeks ago. And that the ground beef came from one specific cow, not 20 different cows in one package. Yeah, look, I ain't gonna hold y'all. It was not an easy decision for me. And I literally was shaking with fear the first time that I decided to cook meat. I started with a hamburger. I made my own hamburger at home. I didn't put nothing on it. I didn't eat it with nothing. It was literally just a burger patty. No, nothing else. And I started there, and then I just waited to see how my body felt. It tasted good to me, so it wasn't like an aversion, but I was just scared to death. Like, what's gonna happen? Am I gonna get sick? Am I gonna, projectile vomit? I don't know, but I was okay. And that gave me the courage to keep going, but I was weirded out. I think I stayed on just eating beef, and then eventually I tried chicken, and then I tried oysters, and then I tried sardine. And like I said, I'm not a seafood eater, so I'm still trying to develop a desire for those foods because I know that they're super nutrient dense, but it's just gonna take time. I am relearning how to eat again. Maybe I'll be in the kitchen like, damn, I forgot how to make this. Let me call my mama, because I can't remember, because I've been eating and cooking plant-based for so long. Some stuff I just forgot. So Delphi said, I think you should take into account that it is pouring down rain, and I don't know if y'all can hear it. Hey B, I feel like cows, chicken, pork aren't natural animals. They've only been domesticated 1,000 years. Lamb, salmon, bison, I feel are more healthier. There are actual laws against putting hormones in lamb, bison, and turkey. There's no laws on cows. Yeah, I agree. That's me, literally. What you talking about, C. Jean? What's literally you? But yeah, I agree. I feel like eating, and these, okay, so I said I was going to leave with some resources because it's about time for me to head back. My lunch break is about to be up. But I'm going to tell you guys what things I researched that really just did it for me. So if you've never heard of the Weston A. Price Foundation, I'm going to type it in the comments. Weston A. Price. That's one thing that I recommend. Weston A. Price was a dentist from back in the day who really wanted to figure out what the fuck is going on with Americans and why are our teeth so tore up? Why is it so normal for us to constantly need fillings, to get our teeth pulled, to get all these different things? So he went and traveled around the world to these different indigenous cultures and tried to figure out what was it in their diet that kept their teeth healthy and why ours was so fucked up. and why teeth crowding and needing braces is such a norm. And what he figured out is that there are certain nutrients in their diet that they're getting that we don't get in the developed countries because we don't eat certain things. And so he developed, you know, a whole book talking about degenerative health and how not getting high amounts of vitamin A, not getting the vitamin K2, which he discovered, and just many other nutrients. He discovered certain things and then dedicated his life's work to educating and teaching people about those things so that we could heal ourselves. So look into Weston A. Price. There's an entire foundation that talks about how to eat ancestrally, how to eat how our ancestors did, making sure that we're eating certain parts of the animal. Like there's a reason why they eat liver and all these different types of things. It's not necessarily a book. I think his book is called, don't get me the quoting because I ain't gonna get it right, but just type in Weston A. Price. And there's a YouTube channel. They have an entire foundation. They have a YouTube channel, a podcast, a website. He has books out. It's so much. But you want to look into Weston A. Price and Sally Fallon. I think that's her name. She's the head of the foundation. But that's one place to start. Another thing that I started looking into was vitamin A, vitamin K2. Why do we need, like, the connection between, like, the seed oils? Research that. Research seed oils and how they're detrimental to the body. Start investigating how eating excessive amounts of sugar and carbs destroy your hormonal health and cause you to develop excess weight. It leads to insulin resistance, and it depletes your minerals. Look into those types of things. It's so much. It's so many videos. I got videos on top of videos because I sit and listen to research from doctors and shit all day long. Maybe I just need to make a damn playlist and just post the link and y'all can just have a field day with it if you're interested. But yeah, Brett, I've heard of the blood type diet. I currently take raw liver capsules in capsule form because I have not gotten to a space yet where I feel like I can confidently cook it and eat it. But growing up, I used to watch my grandmother eat it. My grandmother used to eat liver and onions. But I do eat eggs again. I eat eggs just about every single day to make sure that I'm getting fat, healthy fat. I'm getting choline. There's some other things in eggs that that's really high in eggs. I can't remember, but yes, I do eat eggs every single day. And it's important to get free range chicken eggs, like chickens that actually eat fucking bugs, not eggs that are fed a vegetarian diet, because chickens are not vegetarians. They're not supposed to be eating grains and rice and slop and leftover soybean crude. They're not supposed to eat that. They eat bugs and worms. They are not vegetarian. So again, we be missing out on certain nutrients because they don't feed the animals the right shit, because they don't farm responsibly or regenerative. But yeah, healthy cholesterols in eggs too, yes. And I'm trying to make sure my hormones stay balanced because sis may have kids soon, okay? So I'm like, I gotta get the hardware together. I gotta make sure my nutrient reserves are on deck because babies need these healthy fats for their brain development. And unfortunately, these are things, like I said, specifically the DHE and the EPA, which are fatty acids that you only get from sea-based food. Those are super, super critical for proper brain health and development. And so those are things that I was like, oh my God, I cannot have a vegan baby and then be abusing them and don't even know it because I'm not giving them their nutrients that they need. But that's a whole nother story. I'm out of time, you guys. If you have more questions, just post them in the video or go on my, actually no, don't post them here. Go to my original post on my page where I shared that I stopped being vegan. Leave your questions. I can answer them there, but I hope that I summed it all up in this video. I am released from the shackles, okay? We is back to eating meat. Yes, ma'am. I'm gonna eat me a steak today. Matter of fact, I've been eating a lot of steak. Lots of steak, lots of eggs. Not too much on the seafood because, like I said, I was never a seafood eater. I do eat chicken from here. I look at chicken as like a snack food to me. Like that's cheap food for me. But the more nutrient dense food is going to be steak for me from a ruminant animal. Because again, they're getting the iron, the copper, the B12, the vitamin K2, the vitamin A. I've been taking zinc capsules. So I found this company that makes a zinc supplement, but it's all just dried raw oysters, because I can't get into eating oysters just yet. But I know I need them for the zinc. I know I need them for the copper. I know I need it for the vitamin B12. So I've just been taking it in a capsule. And it's literally just dried up oysters, and they're in their raw form. Wait, how are your bowel movements? That's what I'm scared of. So I did notice a change with my bowel movements. I'm being honest. I feel like I don't poop as often, but I feel like that's probably because I'm not eating so much plant material. When I was eating a lot of plants, I used to have to poop multiple times a day. And I think it was, sorry, I'm trying to get all this fog out of my window so I can see when I go back to work. But I used to eat tons of plants, and it would make me have to go to the bathroom multiple times a day. But now that I've been eating meat, I don't have to poop as much. And I feel like I feel like primarily it's probably because my body is not wasting so much stuff now. Like it's actually extracting as much as it can out of the things that I'm eating. So there's less waste. But my stool also used to be really loose when I was vegan. Like there wasn't a lot of form to it. Now my stool is more solid. I know this is TMI, but she asked about it, so I'm just telling. But yeah, overall, like I said, this is still a new space for me. It's only been 6 months. It's only been 6 months, and I still have a long ways to go, because it's not going to just take 6 months to repair and heal everything. But I'm doing my best to get there. But you guys, I got to end the video. Thank you so much for rocking with me, for all of the kind messages and the support. Thanks, cousin. You know, I am over this hair, y'all, but I got some hair. Like, look, I can stretch it down now. I'm trying to let the shit grow so that I can do something with it, because I'm over this little what's the girl from Good Times? I'm sick of this goddamn afro. I want some braids. I want a ponytail. I want something. So I'm trying to let the hair grow, but I appreciate the compliments, but I am over this damn Florida Evans. I'm tired of this damn Florida Evans afro, y'all, but I love y'all to life. Here's to more growth, more happiness, more health. But peace and love, y'all. I gotta go. Sis gotta get back to work.